Okay, well, it's Monday, so we're all going to have to deal with that. Hey everybody, I want to make a quick video because reInvent's starting, and I know for a lot of people, like especially if you're entering the market, you're entering this year, it's a little confusing keeping up with AWS stuff and AWS events. And I remember my first year, I'd see stuff about reInvent, and at the time it was an in-person conference, of course, and I sort of struggled to get my arms around what was really going on. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about reInvent and what it means and how you can participate, and there's a couple other pieces of AWS news. So the first thing, and this is a big thing it's probably worth talking about, is that there was this major outage that affected a lot of people using AWS in a single region, and also happened right before the Thanksgiving holiday in the US, which was pretty painful for people. Some big AWS users talked about being up all night or something the day before they're supposed to be having their holiday. So that was a little rough. The short version, here's a pretty good tweet from Forrest about it, calling it the Kinesis incident. The short version is it's a cascading failure. We can click into this. You don't want to watch me read this thing live, but my best understanding of it is it was a cascading failure that essentially, singular services reliant on other services, caused a cascading failure. One thing failed, and then that broke other stuff. Sorry about my tearing, video tearing. Apologize for that. And also, I'm not actually paying to promote Fresca. Fresca is delicious, though, so consider it, I suppose. Consider it in your diet. Fruit flavored soda needs that they sell at Kroger Foods needs. Okay, so there's a pretty complete write up here. Boy, that's micro text. Forrest's question that he's asking on Twitter, which is hey, we'd like to see some commitment to an audit of your internal dependencies. That's reasonable. That's kind of a reasonable request. Reasonable request might be, hey, your status page was reliant on some of your other services, so the status page for US East 1, which is a major AWS region, wasn't able to show that US East 1 was down. That's not great, right? We generally not like to not be in that situation. But you'll see a number of people getting involved in this who, as one person put it, are kind of punching above their weight, who are gonna chime in and say, hey, this is what you should be doing as a result of this. You should totally change your strategy as a result of this. And this happening means, you could engineer it this way. I get, what do I want to say about that? Take it with a grain of salt. Take it with a grain of salt. Ask yourself if the person who's giving, really clear advice on the right way to do, a cloud on the level of AWS has done anything even close to similar to that. If the people at Heroku said, hey, we have these concerns, the people at, somebody else who runs or ran a lot of their own platform and, did it very successfully, I think, that'd be one thing. But if you're seeing somebody who, they sell ice cream over the internet or something, and they have really strong feelings about, it really shouldn't happen this way, should have happened that way, I think be a little bit considerate of what that really means. Is there anything more I want to say about that? Not really. The idea that a single outage means you can't use a platform, no matter how severe that outage is, that's weird. That's a weird bias that you would have. Okay, so on to reInvent stuff. Sheen has a really great, Sheen Brasals, who's at the Lego group, somebody I really like, has a really great write up here. I will put a link to it down in the video description. But yeah, I strongly recommend checking it out. So the deal with reInvent this year, I'll switch back to huge face mode. The deal with reInvent this year, am I still getting screen sharing? No, I'm not getting screen sharing now, so I should look into that. The deal with reInvent this year, right? reInvent's free. It's an online only event. Most of the sessions you can stream at any time, though they will very often have times published, and that is when people will be available for. That is when people will be available to do like a Q&A after the session, and I know this because I'm doing one, so I know that much about works. So if you see a time, almost also, I believe all sessions, right? You have not missed them if you're not there at that time. It's just you can't do obviously a Q&A with the person who did them. I strongly recommend, if you see a session, you have questions, go find that person on social media. Almost anybody is going to be interested in chatting more about that topic. I absolutely love it when I'm giving a talk to be able to, interact with people a little bit on social and answer kind of follow-up questions. Hopefully I can share their question and answer so I can sort of have other people benefit from that and also just know kind of what questions my work raised. Some of the stuff that obviously is really key, right? There's so many great sessions in here. And Sheen's in here. I hope I'm pronouncing Danilo correctly. Danilo is a name I've seen many times, but do not know how to pronounce right. Is going to be speaking how Lego.com accelerates innovation with serverless. That's a real session to check out. And other stuff, getting started with your first serverless web application is a really, really good session. I saw it last year, or saw a version of it last year. Really, really nice. Check it out. Check out Sheen's guide and take the time to kind of explore what sessions are useful to you. If I had general advice about, participating in reInvent this year, I would say, for sure, take some time for yourself and try to care for yourself. One of the real drawbacks to this online-only conference is that if you were in a position to get sent to this conference in other years, you're going to find that the thing that doesn't stop while you're at this conference is work at all, right? Even if you say, hey, I'm going to be participating, I'm going to do these things, and if you're speaking, right, your work is still going to keep coming in. So take some time to try to care for yourself, do your best to communicate with work that you need some time off. If you're kind of entering the market, or this wasn't something that was accessible to you before and you're now doing it, same advice, right? Acknowledge if you're trying to do, and if you're trying to view 4 or 5 sessions every day, it's like you're taking on a part-time job for 2-3 weeks. So take care of yourself during that time. Communicate with your family, with your loved ones, with everybody. Like, hey, I'm going to be extra busy, and hopefully talk to your work about your work responsibilities. I would say, in my experience, try to take note of the experience level that's listed and ask yourself, do I really want to be putting myself in a more advanced talk in something that I haven't really used yet? Like, if a product name is just sort of one but have not really gotten into, skip the advanced talks. That's going to make you feel really overwhelmed. There are, of course, great talks at reInvent every year introducing you to a service and sort of letting you know what it's for and how it might be used and what the strategy might be for using it. So stick with that to start with. That's time well spent. Do I have other advice? I don't know. Try to. I personally, if I'm in a more technical talk, I try to have the old legal pad or some other note-taking apparatus out there. Or I'll live tweet the talk, which some speakers love and other speakers do not. But take the time to write down what you're hearing. Obviously it can be tempting because you have it recorded. You think, well, I'll just rewatch this or something. You're not going to rewatch a video of a talk. Come on now. Be honest with yourself. So, take some notes. If there is stuff that you want to absorb, and don't be embarrassed to get 5-10 minutes into something and be like, this is not material that I need, and move on. At an actual conference, that's rude, right? It's rude to get up and walk out 10 minutes in, though I recommend doing it, if it's really not speaking to you. But at this case, don't force yourself to do stuff that's just not clicking or not feeling super useful. It's unlikely, right, that you're going to be in a talk, which very often started with here's what's in here and an introduction, and that in the last 10 minutes you're going to be like, oh, this is such great material, even though the rest of this did not really relate to me. So be aware of that. If you feel inspired, go check out A Cloud Guru and some of the other learning tools that are out there. reInvent talks are a lot about either giving you a map or giving you some advanced advice about what to do with it. You're not necessarily going to get that step-by-step, here's how to use this product or service from them. There is great AWS stuff out there. There's videos, there's all kinds of resources. So, feel free to hit me up on Twitter and let's talk about it. If you're like, hey, I want to do DynamoDB for the first time and how do I get into that? I have some advice. All right, thanks for checking out the video, everybody. I'm super excited to be at reInvent. I'm doing something almost every day, so do check me out on Twitter, and we'll talk about it. Okay, thanks for tuning in, and have a good one, everybody.